the Sisters. Before we start this video, we'd like to make a special shout out to our new friend, Leanna. Thank you so much for watching our videos, and we really hope you have a great day. Without further ado, let's begin. Inside Maisie, a lazy bird, hatching an egg. I'm tired and I'm bored, and I have kinks in my leg. From just sitting here, day after day. It's work, how I hate it. I'd much rather play. I take a vacation, fly off for a rest. If I could find someone to stay on my nest. If I could find someone, I'd fly away free. Then Horton the elephant passed by her tree. Hello, called the lazy bird, smiling her best. You've nothing to do, and I do need a rest. Would you like to sit on the egg in my nest? The elephant laughed. Why, of all silly things, I haven't feathers and I haven't wings. Me on your egg? Why, that doesn't make sense. Your egg is so small, ma'am, and I'm so immense. Tut, tut, said Maisie. I know you're not small, but I'm sure you can do it. No trouble at all. Just sit on it softly. You're gentle and kind. Come on, be a good fellow. I know you won't mind. I can't, said the elephant. Please, begged the bird. I won't be gone long, sir. I'll give you my word. I'll hurry right back, while I'll never be missed. Very well, said the elephant, since you insist. You want a vacation? Go, fly off and take it. I'll sit on your egg, and I'll try not to break it. I'll stay and be faithful. I mean what I say. Toodaloo, sang out Maisie, and fluttered away. The first thing to do, murmured Horton. Let's see. The first thing to do is prop up this tree and make it much stronger. That has to be done. Before I get on it, I must weigh a ton. Then carefully, tenderly, he crept up the trunk to the nest where the little egg slept. Then Horton, the elephant, smiled. Now, that's that. He sat, and he sat, and he sat, and he sat. And then he sat all that day, and he kept the egg warm. And he sat all that night through a terrible storm. It poured and it lightened, it thundered and it rumbled. This isn't much fun, the poor elephant grumbled. I wish she'd come back, 'cause I'm cold and I'm wet. I hope that Maisie bird doesn't forget. But Maisie by this time was far beyond reach, enjoying the sunshine way off in Palm Beach, and having such fun, such a wonderful rest, decided she'd never go back to her nest. So Horton kept sitting there day after day, and soon it was autumn, the leaves blew away, and then came the winter, the snow and the sleet, and icicles hung from his trunk and his feet. But Horton kept sitting and said with a sneeze, I'll stay on this egg and I won't let it freeze. I meant what I said and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful, 100%. So poor Horton sat there the whole winter through. Then came the springtime with troubles anew. His friends gathered round and they shouted with glee, Look, Horton the elephant's up in a tree. They taunted, they teased him, they yelled, how absurd. Old Horton the elephant, he thinks he's a bird. kinda is now. I'll delete that part. They laughed and they laughed. They laughed and they laughed. Then they all ran away, and Horton was lonely. He wanted to play, but he sat on the egg and continued to say, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful, 100%.
No matter what happens, this egg must be tended. But poor Horton's trouble were far from ending. For a while, Horton sat there, so faithful, so kind. 3 hunters came sneaking up softly behind. Oh. He heard the man's footsteps. He turned with a start. 3 rifles were aiming right straight at his heart. He heard the men's footsteps. He turned with a start. 3 rifles were aiming right straight at his heart. Did he run? He did not. Horton stayed on that nest. He held his head high and he threw out his chest and he looked at the hunters as much as to say, Shoot if you must, but I won't run away. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant felt faithful, one. Did he run? He did not. Horton stayed on that nest. He held his head high, and he threw out his chest, and he looked at the hunters as much as to say, Shoot if you must, but I won't run away. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant faithful, 100%. It's strange, it's amazing, it's wonderful, new. Don't shoot him. Wildcats will catch him. That's just what we'll do. Let's take him alive. Why? He's terribly funny. We'll sell him back home to a circus for money. And the first thing he knew, they had built a big wagon with ropes on the front for the pullers to drag on. They dug up his tree and they put it inside, with Horn so sad that he practically cried. We're off, said the men shouted, and off they all went, with Horn unhappy 100%. So there's the big wagon right here carrying him, and then here there's one in the back, one of the men in the back, and then 2 in the front carrying with ropes. Up out of the jungle, up into the sky, up over the mountains 10,000 feet high, then down the mountains and down to the sea went the cart with the elephant egg nest and tree. There's a mountain, and I'm going to climb up it. Then out of the wagon, onto the ship, out over the ocean. Oh, and oh, what a trip! Rolling and tossing, they and splashed with the spray. And Horn said day after day, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. But oh, am I seasick, 100%. After bobbing around for 2 weeks like a cork, they landed at last in the town of New York. All ashore, the men shouted, and down with a lurch went Horn the elephant, was still on his perch, tied onto the board that could just scarcely hold him bump. Horn landed, and then the men sold him. Oh. There he is. And then that's and that thing is carrying him, which probably broke. Sold to a circus. Then weeks after weeks, they showed him to people at 10 cents a peek. They took him to Boston, to Kalamazoo, Chicago, Weehawken, and Washington too. To Dayton, Ohio, and St. Paul, Minnesota, to Wichita, Kansas, to Drake, North Dakota, and everywhere thousands of folks flocked to see and laugh at the elephant up in a tree. Poor Horton grew sadder the farther he went, but he said as he sat in the hot, noisy tent, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. So here's him at the circus. I think this is the circus guy he sells tickets for 10 cents. The circus show happened to reach, and the town way down south, not so far from Palm Beach. Then dawdling a long way up high in the sky, who of all people should chance to fly by. But that old good-for-nothing bird ran away, Maisie, still on vacation and still just as lazy. And spying the flags and the tents just below, she sang out, what fun, why I'll go to the show. So there's Maisie right here, and then this is outside the beach. Yeah. And she swooped from the clouds through an open tent door. Oh, good gracious, gasped Maisie. I've seen you before. Poor Horn looked up with his face white as chalk. He started to speak before he could talk. They bumped into each other, and he looks like he's furious.
Forgot about him. And her baby.
There rang out of the noisiest, ear-splitting squeaks from the egg he had sat on for 51 weeks. A thumping, a bumping, a wild, alive scratching. My egg, shouted Horton. My egg, why it's hatching. So, as you can tell, he said my egg. Horton said my egg. So, yeah, instead of Maisie's egg. So you can see the egg is a little cracked in here. Oh, there it is. But it's mine, screamed the bird when she heard the egg crack. The work is all done, now she wanted it back. It's my egg, she sputtered. You stole it from me. Now get off of my nest and get out of my tree. Poor Horn backed down with a sad, heavy heart. But at that very instant, the egg burst apart, and out of the pieces a red and white shell. From the egg that he had sat on so long and so well, Horton the elephant saw something whiz. It had ears and it had a tail, and a trunk just like his. Okay.
He has a baby bird elephant.
So he's half bird, so he's an He's an he's an elephant and bird. So here's the elephant.
Or a bellefant.
Yeah, a bellefant. But there he is, right there. And all the people came shouting, What is all of this about? They looked, and they stared with their eyes popping out. Then they cheered and they cheered and they cheered more and more. They'd never seen anything like it before. My goodness, my gracious, they shouted. My word, it's something brand new. It's an elephant bird. And it should be like that. Because Horton was faithful, he sat and he sat. He meant what he said, and he said what he meant. And they sent him home happy 100%.
So,
And that was Horton Hatches the Egg by Dr. Seuss. Thanks for watching.